Welcome to this very special edition of the KJ Masterclass Live, the show which ensures that you profit from your time spent here with experts, either through their industry insights, information, or simply learning from them. And today we have Drake Nightenhelser. He's a client quality consultant who helps business owners land better results and level up their business to be more attractive to high quality people. And as you can see on the screen, is the founder of the Profit Collective. Welcome to the show, Drake.
Thank you so much for having me here, AJ.
You are welcome. Welcome to the show. Welcome to India. And I'm sure not just in India, but a lot of people across the world will be able to benefit from what you are going to talk now and what they may see from you now and listen to you later on the audio podcast or even read on Substack and Medium, on which we will certainly put out a blog on this on. So we'll be talking about 7 steps to landing better clients from you, Trey. First, to understand from you, what does a good client look like? We'll talk about the better client, but what exactly is a good client? Let's start from the basics.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a wonderful question. So a good or a great client is simply a client that is a unique fit for your business, somebody that is able to get the most results from your strengths in your industry in a way that they're not able to get those same results from other companies. But at the same time, they're a client because they get so much value from what you do, you get more value from them as well.
Right. And for the audience to know, we will be talking about the 7 steps, for landing better clients. Why should they trust you that what you are saying you have actually done that for? Tell us a bit about yourself, that yes, you have learned this as per on the job, or it's not just something like coming from ChatGPT or anything. Just for the sake of the audience, how exactly do you know so much about this landing good clients? Because a lot of people keep struggling, especially small businesses, for landing, forget about better clients, even the clients themselves. And that's the big challenge, is the lead generation. So help us understand through you exactly, why should they listen to you, what you will be talking about, the 7 steps.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a wonderful thing to bring up. There are a lot of people out there who maybe haven't done it themselves and they're only talking on theory. But for myself, it started back in 2016 when I took over the one-man sales department for a 7-figure vehicle wrap company in Arizona. And I started to notice that we were selling some things that weren't necessarily taking us in the direction that we wanted to. We were working with clients that weren't necessarily taking us in the direction that we wanted to. And being in sales, I had a unique perspective of being able to, from the top down, see how all of the sales rippled through the business and how it affected everyone. So that started to give me a really good sense of, what we wanted to be selling, what we didn't, who we wanted to be working with, who we didn't. And between spending 5 years on the sales floor studying those things, and then also investing a lot of my own time and money in learning about business strategy and business growth methods from some really great minds out there like Frank Kern and Taylor Welch, I was able to take a lot of that back into what I did. And during those 3 years, we were able to drastically increase client quality, basically shedding all of the clients that just really weren't taking our business in the right direction. And we were able to actually double the amount of revenue coming from returning clients. So from 30% all the way to 70% of revenue, just from people coming back and saying, hey, we want more. And during that time, so many things got better in the business. Morale, the way we were able to take care of employees, the way we were able to take care of clients. Because we started focusing on only selling one thing, we were able to really provide much better results for the clients. We were able to do that with a lot of stress for ourselves. It was really just transformational.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for that, Drake, because this gives, that trust in terms of, for the audience to understand that The master is actually a master who has done this, and not somebody who has just learned things only in theory, because business is about practical, about actually doing things that somebody else has already done. And so now, coming on to your 7 steps to landing better clients from you, Drake, is that, can you help us take us through this step by step process, so that people can note down, people can find it easy for them to implement this?
Yeah, absolutely. So, step one is getting clear on what's called your best payday. So, your best payday is simply something, a product or service that you offer that brings the most value to your best clients, and therefore brings the most value to you. And when we look at our best payday, what we're naturally finding is the things that the product or service that we offer that naturally leverages our strengths the most. And we find that by first listing out all of the products and services that we offer, and then scoring them on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being low and 5 being high, on 6 different categories. 1 being net profit, 2 being the energizer factor. So how much does selling this in your business actually excite you and give you energy? Number 3, ease of delivery. How easy is it for you to actually fulfill on this promise? Number 4, ease of sale. How easy is it for you to sell it? How much effort does it take to sell it? Number 5, sustainability. How long can you keep selling this before demand runs out? And number 6, replication or automation. How easy is it for you to teach somebody else to do it or to automate it? And when we look at these 6 categories, especially the first 4 categories, what we're really seeing is, tapping into whether or not these products or services tap into our strengths. So if something is easy for you to sell, it's probably easy for you to sell because you're naturally good at it and you're very confident in it. If it's easy for you to deliver, same thing. You're probably really good at it. And, if it excites you, then you're probably good at it. We don't get excited about things that we're not good at. So it's all about figuring out what product or service that you have to offer is going to not only provide the most results to your client base, but also propel you and your business further ahead by tapping into your strengths and leveraging them. So that's step number 1.
Right. Carry on. You wanted to say, yeah, carry on.
So step number 2 is finding what's called your best buyer. So this is going to be the person that is best suited to get the most value from that product or service that we found in best payday. And best buyer is different from the avatar exercise. Most avatar exercises have you kind of whimsically listing out who you want to work with. What do they look like? What problems are they having? Things like that. The best payday exercise actually comes with a prompt that is a lot more powerful and really sets the stage for creating a paradigm shift for you in who your business actually needs to be working with to provide the most value to them, and therefore provide the most value to you as the business owner. So the prompt is, if you could only get paid after your clients had received the promised result, what would they have to look like in order for you to be willing to take that bet? And when we ask that question, we start thinking about who we would sell to very differently, because now it's not like, well, who do I want to work with? Well, I really like these people. I really like those people. It's now, well, who is it actually easy for me to get results for? Who am I willing to bet the business on? And when we look at that, what we're really doing is we're peering through the lens of our strengths, because the people that we're the most confident that we can get results for are also the people that are in alignment with our strengths. They get value from the things that we're good at, and don't get value from the things that we're not good at. So the way we actually find this person is we start out by listing out all of the characteristics and all of the mindsets that we can think of when we look at this prompt. And then we narrow it down to 3 of each. So a mindset is going to be an attribute that makes them easy to work with, I'm sorry, a characteristic is going to be an attribute that makes them easy to work with and to achieve the delivered results. So this is going to be situational. Are they a business owner? Have they been in business a long time? Things like that, right? Do they have an established client base? Do they have an active audience that's paying attention to them? Things like that. Mindset is going to be aspects of how they think that make them easy to work with and to deliver results to. So that's going to be, really just how they think. So are they an abundant thinker? Do they believe in simplicity? Things like that. And when we narrow it down to 3 of each, we're looking at a really clear picture of who we need to be focusing on working with in our business to leverage our strengths.
Right. Other points you want to elaborate, Greg?
On step 2, I would really just say that it's not something, for those perfectionists out there, it's not something you have to get right the first time. It's about creating more clarity, and clarity is a process, not a destination. So as you keep going in your business, maybe you do the best buyer activity again in 6 months. It's something I recommend you do about once a year, because as your business shifts and changes, who your best buyer is your best buyer is also going to shift. And as your understanding of your business grows, your best buyer is also going to change.
Right, Greg. So to help us understand is that in terms of the buyers, now the best buyer or the ideal buyer, do I have to reach out to them, or they will reach out to me because I am also as attractive a service provider or a product provider and the best one available? How does that work? Does it work both ways? Does it work only one way? Because you also talk about, saying no. So people who reach out, if you say no, then whom do you reach out, or how do they know that you are the best person for them to do the work for them?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a really wonderful question. So you talked about saying no. Saying no is a really difficult part for a lot of business owners. And when I was helping create the shift that I talked about at that vehicle wrap company, one of the hardest things to do was to get the owner comfortable with saying no to revenue. And this is because like attracts like in our business. What we become known for is what we continue to attract from the marketplace. So, the type of work that you do, the people that you're selling it to, and the price point that you're selling it at, this is what you're becoming known for. And that's what you're going to continue to attract more from in the marketplace. So learning to say no to what you don't want is a very important step in starting to naturally attract better clients. And as far as taking a more active role in making that happen, that kind of naturally segues us into step 3, which is focusing your messaging on your best buyer. So one of the things I see from a lot of business owners, especially on their website, you go to their website and the website is talking, or their marketing, their Facebook ads, whatever it is, they're talking about themselves and they're talking about their product. But the funny thing is that most people don't actually care about you and your product or your company. They care about themselves and what they can get from it and whether they're going to get what they want, right? So when we go in and actually shift the messaging on our web pages and in our landing pages and our Facebook ads and all that to speak to this person that we've established in our best buyer, we are naturally going to attract more people like that and repel people who aren't like that.
Right. In terms of small businesses, are they also in a position to always look at the best buyer, or they are not in that position? Who is these ideas for? Is it only for bigger companies? How can small business come to the position of getting bested buyers, as well as in a position to be able to say no to buyers that they don't want to sell to?
Yeah, that's a great question. So this process is really for any business of any size. How quickly and how stringent you are only selling to that best buyer is really a personal decision for the business owner. Because what we don't want to do is we don't want to see you start saying no to anybody that's not that and then see revenue tank, right? So for some people, it's going to be identifying, just taking a look at the products and services they have and figuring out which ones are the lowest hanging fruit to chop off. And if you have, let's say 5 products or services, hey, this one at the bottom is bringing in a lot of bad clients. We're not making a lot of money off of it. Let's start by just chopping that one off and go from there. And then it can be a slow progression where you implement towards only selling to your best buyer over a period of time. For bigger businesses who may have the stockpiles to weather some revenue waves, they could, if they wanted to, go in and just say, hey, these are the only people we're working with anymore.
Right. Now, in terms of, whenever somebody is doing business, new business, old business, they always keep on working on this buyer persona. And they talk about hero's journey and all that stuff. In terms of, yes, Greg, your video is
sorry about that.
You are back, though I could hear you. So in terms of buyer persona, they always keep on focusing on that. And then you are talking about a best buyer. Are these the same thing, or are these 2 different things? Sometimes it becomes 2 different things. You talk about the buyer persona, and then you keep on looking at as many clients as possible beyond the buyer persona. How do I calibrate the best buyer with the buyer persona? Is there a way to do it, or will it? How do you look at it?
Yeah, I think they're really kind of the same thing. The best buyer is just a different way of looking at the same question of who should we be working with. It's really just asking the question in a different way that prompts a response that takes the focus off of you and what you want or what you think you should be doing, and puts it through a lens of establishing who the business needs you to be selling to.
Right. Then why is it that some businesses, in spite of focusing on the buyer persona or the ideal client, still struggle to get that client? Is there something lacking? What does your experience say in this?
Yes. So a lot of times what we tend to do as business owners is we tend to focus, when we're trying to sell more, we focus really hard on the sales and marketing process, because that's how you get clients, right? Sales and marketing, that's how you get more clients. But I like to say that fulfillment is actually the birthplace of sales. By taking a step back and putting a little less energy and focus onto how your marketing or what your ad creatives look like, or what your messaging is, it's good to pay attention to those things, but a lot of businesses tend to hyper focus on them. When we take a step back and we actually start looking at fulfillment and saying, now and this is actually one of the steps, how do I actually refine and refocus my fulfillment process to serve this person better, to generate higher results? Also, another one of the steps, how do I refine it to give them a better experience? When we focus on improving fulfillment, we're naturally going to start to see an abundance in our business of the things that make sales and marketing easier. You're going to generate better results for clients who have better experiences. That's going to translate to a lot more confidence in the sales process, and, a lot more confidence for your sales team to land clients and, show up with a different energy on the calls, a lot more certainty. And then, all the wonderful testimonials and, things of that nature, and data that you can take from the results that you're getting people, and stop making promises and start just showing them the data of what you do. It becomes a lot easier to land better clients.
Absolutely. There is so much to learn on this aspect. It's not just about promising something, but actually, as you said, it's about fulfillment. And then you use that data to actually show, rather than, creating any fancy stuff that will not work. And especially in today's time, even customers have woken up, and they have always got choices. Earlier, it was not. Even in products, in services, a lot of choices they have got. So you got to become not only a fulfilling company, a promising, you need to become a trustworthy company.
Mhm.
In terms of learning more from you, Drake, you have a training program. Can you tell us about that training program and also about the Profit Collective? What exactly is this? Has it been launched? Is it existing? How does that work? Both so that people get as much as possible from you. A lot of demand is there for the right kind of training, for the right kind of learning to reach the right kind of clients.
Yeah, absolutely. So the Profit Collective is new. It's something that I am in the process of launching. Um, it's something that's really birthed from a passion for small business. I've spent almost my entire career in small business with a little bit of a begrudging distaste for the corporate world. But so helping small business owners profit more is really close to my heart. I spent a lot of time working with small businesses, and I used to be really frustrated that they didn't pay their people better. And it wasn't until I got up into the decision-making room of small businesses that I realized, oh, it's not that you don't want to pay people better. It's that you can't because you're not sure how to profit more. And that's what the 7 steps are all about, taking all of my experience in small business and helping small business owners ethically charge more so that they can profit more by focusing on who they really work with. And that's what we do at the Profit Collective. We help small businesses, whether you're a traditional small business, you're a freelancer, you're a consultant, a coach, an expert of some kind. It's all about helping you get clear on how to leverage your strengths in the business so that you can land better clients, charge more, profit more, and finally love your business. It is a monthly subscription. I spent a good amount of time in high ticket programs where they make these really big promises. They charge you $10,000 for 3 months. And, sometimes you get in there, you're like, oh, I'm not really, this isn't what I thought it was. Or maybe, you finish the program, you didn't get the result because you weren't quite ready for it, or there were other foundational pieces you had to take care of before you could leverage what they teach. And they didn't tell you that. So doing just a monthly subscription is my way of mitigating those things so that you can come in. If it's for you, you can stick around. If there's other things that you need help from us in terms of foundational pieces, we can help you take care of that first. And all doing this without breaking the bank, because we're building a long-term relationship with you instead of trying to pump you through a 3-month program.
Absolutely. And then you got that free training program. I saw it on your website. In fact, I will myself learn from that. I have bookmarked it for some time later, but it looks nice. Tell us about that so that people can benefit from that too.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's a training that I put together to start to introduce people to some of the foundational pieces of the 7 steps. One of those is called the 1-1-1 equation. I talk about that in there. That's about working on one offer, which would be your product or service. I call it an offer. One offer, selling it to one buyer with one fulfillment process. It's about simplifying the business so that you can really focus on the strengths around that. And then from there, I go through an in-depth process of showing them how to find their best payday and their best buyer in their business. And there's also a tracking sheet that they get access to there as well if they want to sign up for it. The training is free. If they want the tracker sheet, I just ask for their email. But the tracker sheet helps them take the best buyer and the best payday and actually start tracking their sales to see how well they're doing at selling their best payday to their best buyer.
Right. So how do people connect with you more, either to understand more about what you do and also to be professional, to engage with you professionally? What's the best way to do that?
Yeah, absolutely. If they want to gain access to that training, the website is profitcollective.vip/3 simple steps. So they can go there and check that out if that's interesting to them. If they want to reach out to me directly, they can also do so at drake@profitcollective.vip.
Wonderful. On this note, it's a wrap on this very special edition of the KJ Masterclass Live. Thank you so much indeed for joining us.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for having me, AJ. It's been a lot of fun.